Doctor Who, Season 1, Episode 6, Rogue.
Good
episode. My nephew has that exact same set of dice.
It's a nice set of dice.
He just bought them at the PonyCon.
So.
Oh, and I'm sure at this point, somebody has sourced what those dice are and knows where they come from, has said exactly where you can buy those, and or people have started making those so that you can have that for.
I mean, they're basically just a plain set of dice.
Well, that exact shade, that exact font.
There are so many people would be so angry at you right now.
What?
Just saying, oh, that's just a regular pair of dice. It's like, no, that's the Super Deluxe Model 3000.
Yeah, no, and dice goblins or dice dragons, whichever one you want to go with.
Mean,
the ones that hoard the dice.
You know the D&D movie? You know how they had a giant D20 as the popcorn bucket? I have one, and it is full to the limit with dice. Okay? I have hundreds of dice. Yeah.
I'm honestly impressed.
Okay. Well, I have no dice.
I also have them sorted by there's no controller. I have them sorted by color and style.
I have like one special die, and I got a set of dice, and that's it.
Yeah, so I think of the three of us, if I said it's just a plain set of dice, I know what I'm talking about more.
Well, just saying, people are going to want that specific set of dice, and they're probably a mass manufactured product that people have done the sleuthing on and figured out, okay, who sells those? Okay, we find them, sold them out. And if they're not mass manufactured and they were just something from some obscure set that's no longer printed, somebody is custom making those, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Now, for my huge complaint.
Uh-oh.
So, Rogue's from the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were specific about when, but...
Yeah.
Or another planet, at least.
So, my complaint is... D&D, it's a fun game, don't get me wrong. It stood the test of time, but somehow cosplaying died out.
No, what do you mean?
He asked, so what is cosplaying this old time or whatever, and the doctor explains what cosplaying is.
Okay, yeah, but the thing is, the term changes. Like, cosplay is a contemporary term. It's not, it probably has changed to something else, to a different thing. Just like within role play, like online role play, I'm not talking D&D, I'm talking about like writing as characters.
Yeah.
When I first started, the actor or images you're using were called your play-by, and that's what I still use. But nowadays, people call them the face claim. So, and when I say play-by, they're like, you're what? So, terms change and evolve. So, the term cosplay is probably changed to something else by his point in time.
Yeah, and see, the thing about that is, if he's future, then if he's just a future human that came back, then he's like, the internet is changing language at an incredible rate, because just like your example, things change all the time, and cosplay, well, it might stand the test of time.
Apparently,
like
the D&D does.
Yeah, well, apparently. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a game and it's owned by somebody. As long as they don't go out of business, which, or at least they get bought up and the stuff gets continued. So long as the product is continued, they're going, it's going to be there. Or it might be a niche game at that point. It might be well, considering D&D, he called it Dungeons and Dragons. He's got to be from the future because Dungeons and Dragons doesn't exist until, whenever Gygax made it.
Yeah.
So he's got to be from the future of some sort, because otherwise it doesn't make sense.
I was trying to Google an image of the dice from the episode. I found a image of a TARDIS dice tower.
Of course there is. This is shocking.
No, it's
so
not
two
shocking.
nerdy properties.
It's not shocking. I want it.
Apparently,
yes.
No.
Cosplay was coined in 1984. Honestly, I thought it'd be older than that.
No, I'm surprised to 84.
I thought it was more of a late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, like I was thinking that sort of internet culture sort of thing, because it was also it's also, I think it's a Japanese term, but it takes the English. It might be a Japanese term. I don't know. But it takes two English words and puts them together, so it might be English. But
I looked it up. It was coined in Japan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I thought that was the way it was, but I didn't trust my memory on it. But yeah. So it came from which is an interesting thing because it's made of two English words, English loan words, brought over to Japan, and then the Japan put them together, and then it came back as a loan word backwards to the English-speaking world as cosplay. Like it made a nice little journey there, and who knows where it's going next.
But exactly, like the words, it's a word that changes, and so he may not know that specific word. It doesn't mean he's never heard of
the concept is not foreign, but the word used to describe it is.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Which would have been an interesting thing to do would be what Davies could have done is or whoever was writing this, didn't look at the writing credit. Whoever wrote this could have gone, you know what? He'll call it something else. Like, oh, you mean X?
Yeah.
And that would have been a really clever way of doing it. Like, he didn't recognize cosplay, but the term has changed, and that's what he does. That would have been a very clever thing to do. Like, it's not bad that he didn't do that, but it would have made a lot more linguistic sense, I think, to say something like that.
And it, just a throwaway term like, oh, you mean, would have been so much,
Yeah, that would have
against it.
Yeah.
And been less confusing for Maidrock.
Yeah, I think they could have done that, and I think it would have. It's a trick. It's an extra trick, and the story is fine without it. It's not. It's not a. It's not a gigantic problem. It's not like blowing a hole in this thing.
Oh no.
But that would have been a really cool
throwaway line. Yeah.
Throwaway thing that would have shown he's really that would have been a really deep thought sort of thing. Like, oh no, cosplay still exists because cosplay just all cosplay did was take the word for dressing up as fictional characters and just give that definition a succinct word you can use to describe it. Well, once you get that and people are still doing that activity, people are going to still have a word for it. They may change what that word is. There's a scandal around it or something like that. Or people don't like it anymore, or any number of things. That, or feel it's old fashioned, and then somebody comes up with a new slang for it. That makes sense. But That it would completely disappear as a concept seems
Unlikely.
yeah, especially a concept with a word that's already there.
Yeah.
And in use. But
I gotta say, at one point I could hear in the distance thousands of man babies screaming at the kiss.
yeah, I was interested
Wait,
in that. It
what?
was like
Oh,
The gay kiss.
yeah.
like they teased it at that one point, like they were about to, and then something went off and stopped it. And I was like, okay, Davies, are you really gonna do that? Are you going to go right up to that line, or are you gonna go over it?
He would not dare after the backlash they got from Sherlock because of that. Because Sherlock is ace. And they don't actually allude to them being together, but the fandom is like, oh my gosh, they make such a cute couple. And like all of the additional things, like the website, how the website has like things from the characters, from the character perspective and stuff. And there was one of them was like his actual journal entries and stuff. And it's like, I don't know if he's gay or not, but it doesn't matter to me because he's my friend. A line similar to that, where it's like, see, he says he doesn't care if he's gay. It's like, yeah, he doesn't care if he's gay. It doesn't mean he's gay, and it doesn't mean that he wants him. But everybody was like, blowing a gasket over the series finale because of how they left it. Because like they blew a hole in that John Locke ship. And it's like, they were never together. They were never gay together. They were best friends. They had a camaraderie beyond like romance or
they were unironically roommates.
Yeah. They were best friends. Like you don't need to romanticize everything. And like I appreciate the fact that there is ace representation, being ace. You know what I mean? Like, and then everybody's trying to blow a hole in it because, oh, but John and Sherlock are both so hot. It's like, I don't care. Anyways.
But yeah, it's like teased it right there and then came back to it. But
yeah.
My two things about it, like, one, I get it for like pacing reasons, but the whole romantic thing kind of felt kind of fast for me. But then again, I'm like Demi,
well,
so
I mean, as far as I've seen way faster.
I get it. And again, the pacing of the show, because he was gonna die or disappear or whatever.
And also, I do love the fact that the doctor's just like, oh, come on, you know you want to. And he's like, shut up, I'm not a geek, I'm a bounty hunter. And it's like, no, you're not, you're a geek. Rogue, come on, you're named after the D&D character. Like, shut up.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah. I love this song and the fact that he kept turning the music back on. He's like, I'm unplugging it. It's like, oh yeah?
It's a good song. Not sure what the song is called though, but it's a good song. I liked it. The only other problem I see, okay, character like the Doctor, it makes sense having one of his iterations, being gay, whatever, because
well, the Doctor in and of himself, he or she is neither gay or straight.
Yeah.
They don't really have a defined sexuality because, first of all, genders are so fluid within Time Lord like society. Like, he was literally a woman 2 lifetimes ago, and so he he could be equally for men and women. In fact, the Ninth Doctor, with Jack, and in one of the Ninth Doctor audios, he actually meets Sam Bishop, and he's like, Sam makes a throwaway comment about his girlfriend, like, yeah, what does she see in a guy like me? And the Doctor's like, oh, not that. You're gorgeous.
But
so the Doctor is neither gay nor straight. He they are.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you switch around as much as the Time Lords can, Time Lords, Time Ladies, Time Society can switch around as much as they can, like things get real hazy, a little real gray, and like, okay, well, it could be this, it could be that, it could change every time. Like, we don't know if that's sort of like the way he
gay or straight when there's no definitive either way.
They're not this particular face might be male, but that one was female, and it might not be. Like, maybe it's in Time Lords, like it changes every generation. Maybe that's more of a core thing that gets carried through. Like, maybe they're attracted to there might be Time Lords or Time Ladies that are regardless of what their face is, like, they're male attracted or female attracted or not attracted or attracted to both. Like, it may be something that carries through. Like, they go the way they go their entire lives. That's a core part of who they are. Or it might flex with every generation. You might have one that's super this way or super that way, or
honestly, I think the Doctor isn't so much gay or straight. I'm pretty sure the Doctor is more sapio. So
intelligence.
Attracted to a person's mind and personality rather than their bits and bobs.
Yeah, the Doctor's an interesting. it's when you can switch back and forth, it makes those sorts of things a little, a little more complicated, and maybe sometimes possibly more complicated, possibly less complicated. Depends on
who you ask.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. It makes it more complicated or less complicated. It also depends on which Time Lord lady you're talking about. Then one might be really simple. They're ace the entire time. One might be just, full Jack Harkness.
Well, I mean, fun fact, according to the Wilderness Years, as it's called, Ace was supposed to be was training to be a Time Lord. She went to the academy on Gallifrey.
But
according to the Wilderness Years, and that was supposed to be one of the stories that, it had the series gone on, they were going to delve into that. So, I mean, at least one Time Lord was going to be Ace.
One way or another.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering if, like, Rogue, he's going to make Rogue more, like, because we don't know, I don't think we ever was really revealed his hunting partner, like, or whoever he was with at the time, like, who they were, what they were. And so I'm wondering if Rogue is going to be a scandal-free Harkness, because Barrowman has had his scandals.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, I love Harkness, but yeah, I can understand why they'd be hesitant to have him on. But, like, as a way of having a safe Harkness.
Yeah.
Like, Barrowman's really good, and he's really funny, and he's really good at playing Harkness. But
he's a little too good at playing Harkness.
Why do you have to screw up like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a little too good at being Harkness.
Yeah.
God damn it, yeah.
Well, I don't think even Harkness would do the sort of things, some of the things that he was accused of, but yeah.
I don't know all that he's been accused of. I just know a few of the things, like getting a little handsy and stuff.
Yeah. I think Harkness screams to me like he is all over the map with attraction, but I think he's such the way he is, his personality screams to me like he would be very much still into the yes,
Consent is key.
anyone that's anyone that's of age and and willing, and so it's like, but
Willing
that's
and
very
able
much
to consent.
capable of consent, yes, and like he's all over that, and so but he would still not, he wouldn't he would he would he's all over the place, but he's he consent is important to him. It seems like he'll he's not very picky in the identity of the person, like in terms of gender identity, alien, human, but consent is very much something that sounds like it feels like it would be very important to Harkness.
Well,
Otherwise there's no thrill in the conquest.
Oh yeah.
Although if you have to conquer, is there really consent in that? Eventual
charm
wearing
is probably
them
the
down.
better thing. Look how charming I am, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's less conquest. That's more of a way of an old way of talking, but yeah, sort of, look how charming I am.
I'm so charming. God.
But yes, but it makes me wonder if Rogue is supposed to be a non-problematic Harkness. And eventually we will get him back and he will be he'll fill that same sort of role.
Oh my gosh. And it happens after, because I hear rumors that Ruby is leaving next season. So after Ruby leaves, that's when he comes back and he goes all like Jack was with Rose.
It's okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting addition. It's another little thing that Davies is planting, which that's gonna come back at some point. But yeah, I don't know when Davies is gonna bring it back, but that seed is planted. He's going to find him at some point. It's just a matter of when, because
he gave him his ring.
They spent way too much time invested in him. He spent an entire episode, an entire sort of, human, making his character well known. They spent way too much time developing his character to just sort of, and that sacrifice to leave him like that. It doesn't feel like that's the last time we're going to see Rogue.
Yeah, I doubt it.
It'll probably be a while, but we'll see Rogue again. I think.
Old lady again, of course, in the painting.
Another thing about the parallel, we never know Jack's real name. In Torchwood, we find out Jack Harkness was actually the name of a soldier during World War I or World War II.
And he just adopted it.
He adopted the name after that soldier died. So we don't know Jack's actual name, and we don't know Rogue's actual name.
Yeah, there's some parallels. Now, if he gets caught up in a bad wolf and becomes functionally immortal for a while,
that'll be
essentially immortal, but obviously face of Bo. It's okay, technically at some point he gets old enough Yes, but and at some point it loses its head. I do love that. I love the way Davies, like, the first time when they're revealing the face of Bo reveal. I love that. Face of Bo, they called me.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, and then just
Yeah.
both of them are just like, oh no! Oh no! Oh. You're an
But
impossible thing, Jack. It's not the first time somebody's told me that.
And it won't be the last.
Oh.
yeah, so I'm sure he'll be back.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah, so the old lady again. Another thing that's been happening, not in all episodes, but we haven't really mentioned it, is the TARDIS has been getting a lot of indigestion.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing of that, we've been dealing with a lot more of the living nature of the TARDIS. Like, we got a lot more shot of the living nature of the TARDIS, because it's rare that I don't know that I've ever seen the TARDIS just not like somebody and react that way.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, it makes sense because the TARDIS is, sapient. It knows it's
I mean,
alive.
he
Yeah,
did react that way to Jack.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so, but
to be clear though, I don't think it's actually reacting to him. I think that's just something the doctor said to make him not worry, because that's not the first time the TARDIS has made that sound.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
possibly. I mean, the first rule of the Doctor is the Doctor lies.
Yeah.
also, fun fact,
Ooh.
the bird lady, the Duchess, was from Torchwood. She was in Torchwood.
Oh my.
She
As
played Susie Costello, who was the character that Gwen replaced after she blew her own brains out.
Ooh. Fun.
Well, she was using the very first episode of Torchwood. She was using what was dubbed the Risen Mitten to revive people, and she was practicing with it and trying to figure out how it worked and its limitations and this and that. And in doing so, she was killing people in order to practice on it, use it in practice, because it had to be somebody who was recently dead and certain rules and stuff. And so she, towards the very end of it, she shot herself in the face, like under the chin, because she was busted.
Mm.
They did bring her back in an episode though, using
The
the other Risen Mitten, because mittens come in, gloves come in too.
It has risen.
Yeah.
Silly. I don't know for some reason. I think now, okay, a small part of me thinks that they're like one of the same, but it's only like 3%. But I think that somehow the TARDIS groaning and the old lady that we keep on seeing everywhere have some kind of weird connection.
I'm not going to comment.
I know you saw the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
But
Well, I only saw the first half because it's a two-parter, and the next episode airs tomorrow, so I have to wait until tomorrow. And it's like, the sucky thing is, last week I didn't watch the episode until like Wednesday because I was at a convention during the weekend. So if that were the case, I'd have only had to wait a day. But no, I have to wait an entire week for a two-parter. And it was such a cliffhanger, and there are so many spoilers that I don't want to give, but I really want to give. So
Oh yeah.
like the resolution of some of our theories, and
God,
like we find out things.
I'm so interested to see if my death theory is right, or if it's just some made up villain that none of us saw coming.
I mean, No comment.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fictional show, so everybody's made up. So.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily. They do take aspects from mythology sometimes and from pop
Well,
culture
mythology's
and
made
stuff.
up, so.
Well, yes, but I mean, by
outside
that
of
account,
actual historical characters.
they have had, yeah, so they have had like actual historical characters in there.
Yeah, but
Some of them
outside of
were
them,
actually
everybody
done.
is made up.
Oh,
But
it's like the phrase, that's a made up word. Every
all
word
words
is
are
made up.
But yeah,
one thing I do gotta say though is sometimes one can forget how scary the doctor can be because it's like good they can suffer longer.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they may not kill, at least try not to kill, but
Yeah, there
I
was
mean,
some glimmers
look
of
at
10
Batman.
there.
I mean, look at Batman. Like, he doesn't kill. He makes it a strict policy not to kill, but he's still dark as fuck.
Yeah. I just go back to Family of Blood. It's like, yep. Yeah, the Family of Blood. Yeah. That's why you don't mess with the doctor.
oh yeah.
Because that's what the doctor's like when the doctor's angry and still kind of holding back. Because he didn't kill them. He didn't rage or yell. Yeah,
Well,
never raised his voice. Or what was the phrase? He never raised his voice. That was or something like that. That's
well,
and then he
you
goes
know
over all the things he did to the family, and it's like, oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
well, you know, the phrase, the
Oh yeah, I forget the
you know,
line, but
he good men don't need rules, which is why I have so many.
today is not the day to find out why I have so many.
Yeah, something like that.
That was 11, but yeah.
But
The
I'm
demons run.
just saying, like, yeah.
Yeah, it does. They do remind you occasionally. The doctor has rules, and there's a reason he has rules because
to keep you safe.
Yeah.
It's
They're
not because
not for him.
Yeah, they're for everybody else because he knows he's the oncoming storm, and if whether he wants to live up to the oncoming storm or the doctor depends greatly upon whether he follows his own rules.
Oh yeah.
Because he can be the oncoming storm, but when he's following his own rules, he remains the doctor, the word for healer and wise man.
Now, okay, what was the name of the aliens? The Judd or something? I forget the names.
Yeah, I
Chowdhury?
don't
Something like
cartoon or
Chowdhury.
something like that. I forget the exact name. I don't think it's going to be that important.
Oh yeah, no.
Because I think these are kind of a one and done. They might come back some other day. Like
They're kind of they're basically they make me think of Family of Blood aliens.
Yeah, we never heard anything about them post Family of Blood.
Exactly.
So I think these are a one and done. They might there's an option that the species now exists. It's in the sort of pile
In
of
the
species you
lore.
can pull from, but I think it'll probably be a while before we see them again.
I'm just thinking like two things. Like one, I'm thinking it's like, okay, now we have two shape-shifting aliens. I wonder if they get along.
There are more than two shape-shifting aliens.
I mean, that I've seen. I know there's more, but yeah.
I mean, not only that, but they have little hints of Slovene in them too. Like,
oh yeah,
I want to take your place. I want to take your skin.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I wondered how well they get along with each other. And
oh no! Oh wait, you meant the Slovene?
Yeah, it's the Slovene.
I thought there's the Zygon.
No. Round rubbery things.
Wait, okay.
How did
lots of red rubbery things. Lots of suckers.
How did you
poison
forget
sacks
my
in the tongue.
sister?
No. Sorry. There's the Zygon. There's the L things. What was the Slovene again?
Slovene were the big
green farty things.
Yeah. Not fully unendowed in the cloud part.
Those don't count because they use technology to change their shape.
No, they don't. Well, not really. They use a compression. they take over their skin. They just squeeze into people's skins.
Okay. See what now I'm thinking.
And of course, now I've just got that scene with was it Tin and the cactus? Like, it's like somebody wouldn't like to know, somebody wouldn't want people to know that they were wearing a shimmer. What do you mean shimmer? I'm not wearing a shimmer. Shimmer.
This would be like a crossing, but I'm thinking like a little comic, a little picture of the owl, of the bird person from Resident Alien talking about the owls. Oh, those are distant cousins. We don't talk about them.
Oh my gosh! So that one alien. I mean, that one alien. The reminded me of Brewster from Animal Crossing. Like, legit looks like Brewster from Animal Crossing.
Oh my god, it does. And why did it have to be owl people? I have an OC. Why?
Well, now you have a species for her.
Yeah, she's not a shapeshifter. She's not evil.
I mean, not all of them are evil. They just, those are just the nerdy ones who like to cosplay.
Yeah, cosplay this world to death.
I mean, can you blame them? Cosplay is.
Yeah, it is fun. Let's admit that.
I love the. I want to be the doctor. Reminds you of like kids when they play house or play like.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I've done it too, not as a child, but anyways, where it's like, I want to be this character. No, I want to be that character.
Oh, and these people are these folks are going to show up at a convention.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Somebody's gonna show up. There's gonna be a few of them that show up.
Yeah,
now they got an excuse.
I'm already contemplating making a costume of that. I mean, what?
Yeah,
I'm still
the meta of a cosplayer cosplaying as a cosplayer is just too delicious.
Yeah, a cosplayer cosplaying as a cosplayer cosplaying a cosplayer.
So I know like the new aliens, so like the thing is kind of like up in the air. Did they actually need to kill the person to take over them, or did they just kill them so they wouldn't like show up and have two of them in the same room?
Well, clearly they don't have to, because if you remember that one episode, he took over Kate's cousin's body.
I'm talking about the owl people.
Oh, the owl people?
Yeah.
She didn't. Oh, you mean in this
in
Doctor Who?
Yeah.
I think they have to kill them because, like, if you notice, they got like zapped and sucked dry. So like they suck out their identity, I guess.
Yeah, but not
their
the memories,
essence.
apparently.
Nope.
So they're like diet Zygon then, because I'm pretty sure like the Zygon get all the memories when they take over.
Well, that's because the Zygon don't, when the Zygon take over, they don't take over in the same way.
Oh yeah.
The Zygon they literally link their brain to the person they're
and have
taking
to
over.
Keep them alive.
Yeah, they have to stay alive in order to keep feeding off of that pattern.
Yeah.
Which is how you know that I'm the real. I mean that Osgood is the real Osgood.
It's such a bad idea to be the help. Let's see.
I mean, she was cosplaying a cosplayer too.
Okay, so I just have to say, so we're like 2 episodes till the end of the season, right?
Yep.
Unless they like show up in the next season, right? didn't really see much of a large pantheon from the toy maker. We only saw like one child.
Yeah.
Well, this could be a thing that like Davies does over the course of 15's run.
Yeah,
Like
hopefully.
he
I mean-
spaces it out, and
spoilers.
Okay, yeah, spoilers.
but make it. Well, I mean, we're speculating without spoilers, so
Oh yeah.
it doesn't matter what we say. We're purely working off no spoiler information.
Yeah,
You know,
you
we can speculate as much as we want because we're not.
I mean, the closest thing I have is I watched like the end credit scene after the thing, for like next time on Doctor Who.
Yeah, so we've got, so we can speculate as much as we want. So like it might be scattered amongst the remaining episodes of 15's run. Like if he does 3 seasons, there might be, maybe we get one a season or something, and then at the end, like the finale is like they come back, or there's one final big bad at the end of his run that he deals with, and that causes he steals them, but it causes him to regenerate. But he has to bring on 14 to help him, and then at the end of it, like they're both a little unstable, but they start to merge back together, and then that merging ends up a regeneration, and that becomes 16 at the end of his run.
Interesting.
Or you get a two-headed doctor.
They did say regeneration is a lottery. Can you imagine me with no head?
I mean, they did have Romana did regenerate into some pretty weird shit before she finally settled on the one she did, because she was able to control her regeneration. So
I want to regenerate into a cat. I am the cactor. Hey, random question. Still doctor related. So I don't think like the doctor's like 2 hearts, right? So are they like side by side, top bottom, one behind the other?
I think Dalek we saw they were side by side.
It's basically they're basically just one on either lung, instead of there being one on just the left or the right lung, because sometimes it does reverse.
Oh yeah. Like
it's basically just one, just both sides instead of just the one.
And I'm guessing they would probably be like slightly smaller than the normal heart, just so they can both fit. Because the heart's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like, not like huge, but you know what I mean. His heart grew 5 times that day.
That sounds like a medical condition.
Did he have a heart attack?
Well, and you could tell exactly. There's 2 places you could kind of figure out where they are if you really wanted to. Like you could.
There's the very first episode of the Third Doctor's run.
Okay.
They take an X-ray of the Third Doctor, and it's like, this guy has 2 hearts. What the hell?
Yeah, and well, I was talking about Modern Who because you have Dalek, because they shock him and you can kind of or X-ray him or something, and you could see the hearts somehow, and then there's also 10 at one point. One of his hearts stops, and he sitting there pounding his chest to get back working. It's like, how do you live like this? And he's just banging on his chest. And wherever he's banging on his chest, that's where the heart that stopped was. And he just, okay.
Okay, I guess I felt like I'm comfortable with him, but again, that kind of makes me think, how long can he survive if one of them wasn't beating?
I mean, probably a pretty decent amount of time. It's
just not fun.
Oh yeah.
It slows him down tremendously.
It's like, I can't run as fast now. Oh, that reminds me. It's like, I'm normally the one that says to run.
Yeah, that's usually my.
That's my line.
Yeah, essentially. But
let's see what else. can you imagine if they actually did transform into the Doctor? Oh, I
Wow.
want to cut people up and a bunch of other crap.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's like not that kind of doctor.
Mm.
God, I mean, like it took me longer than I would have liked to figure out that girl was one of them. It's like, for
Oh,
God's sake, how did I not see that coming? Like I saw like a minute before she changed. It's like, It's like, oh yeah. I mean, good actor.
mhm.
Oh, oh, and Rogue uh proves my point of everybody seems to have a time traveling device.
I mean, they're all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
That is true.
Mm.
Apparently, they're not as rare as one would think.
But see, the Doctor's a Ferrari, whereas
Oh yeah.
Jack's that's more like a space hopper.
It's oh my god! It's like yeah, I've been in a shed before. Holy crap!
I love how cocky that made the doctor
It's like
too.
yes, I haven't seen it before, but that is called a surface.
Yeah.
It's like, are you calling me hot or are you calling yourself hot?
Yes.
That is a psychic paper either helped him or betrayed him.
I mean, it was just telling the truth.
Yeah, this isn't like a giant complaint because it's fine and all, but I kind of wish that the electric screwdriver was screwdriver shaped again. I don't know. Its shape just looks kind of weird.
I mean, so do you, but
Well, thank you.
It doesn't really bother me that much either way.
Like I
It's
said, tiny complaint.
yeah.
I mean, it looks less like a screwdriver than
Like a universal remote.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
to
I
be
mean,
fair,
it kind of is.
yeah, to be fair to the choice there, it actually looks like it's got enough space that he has buttons that he could actually do all the things that the Doctor does on this remote. This screwdriver, like it makes sense that he's able to do all the things. Like there's a functionality to it. Like oh, look at all these buttons. Yeah, okay. Well, this button does this, and this button does this, and it looks like it has enough buttons to do the things he says it does. But like there is something to the sort of screwdriver shape.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I mean, the original sonic screwdriver looked literally like it was just a pen light.
Which is awesome.
Like, you know, one of those pens that have a little torch at the tip. That's what it was. That was the original sonic screwdriver. And all it could do was loosen screws.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I already think I know.
Now it is a full sonic probe.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to it, but I just want your take on it. You know what I would have done with the triangle of banishment, because I forget what that thing's called, so I'm just gonna call it that. I would have just taken the Bird Lady and thrown her into Ruby to knock Ruby out, and Bird Lady gets stuck in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you agree?
I mean, or he could have reached in and pulled her out if he was able to throw her out.
I thought you were gonna say some convoluted thing of why it wouldn't work, like maybe because there was too many people, that's why I kicked her out, or etc.
It did say something about the mass.
Yeah.
The mass has changed, so maybe it was a Indiana Jones thing. Like she could leave if an equivalent or a semi equivalent mass was put in her place because it had already done the calculations. So if like yeah, if he'd thrown her into it and used that to pull Ruby out, like that would have. But
well, here's hopefully he's in a dimension that one has air, and
Yeah.
two, that the group of very angry bird people didn't kill him.
Yeah. That would be pretty awkward.
Yeah. And two, and three, wherever it sent him has a payphone. It's like, hey Doc, you might come pick me up. Thanks.
I'm sorry, but going by Doc, that's just funny. Hey Doc, you want to go? Oh, right, not talking to me.
I got nothing else. Anything you want to add?
yeah, I'm out. I don't have anything. I haven't had anything for a few minutes now.
Okay then.
Particular.
What's the name of next week's episode?
Next week's episode is The Legend of Ruby Sunday.
Okay.
And it's a two-parter with this week's episode.
Okay. Well,
So I'm going to double up and we'll watch both episodes just because it's a two-parter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there already exists, so.
Well, everybody,
Okay.
Unless Sunday comes up, see you next week at Ruby Wooby Tuesday. Anyways.